Welcome everyone, my name is Sophia and I'm going to be going over my Netflix trade that made me almost $3,000. So let's get right into it. I'm going to go in depth on the strategy I used to take this trade. I also have a in-depth strategy video posted up on my YouTube already, so I recommend watching that first before you watch this trade recap. So let's get into it. So this trade was taken on Wednesday, June 11th. It is now Thursday, June 12th. So on that Wednesday, yesterday, we had CPI data come out pre-market an hour before market open. So if we look on over at Q's and what Q's did, CPI news came out super bullish, as we see right here. So that's exactly what I wanted to see, CPI news come out bullish. And then we got this very nice downside as the market was opening. And that is another key factor that I wanted to also see because I wanted to get in on my trades at a lower price, take long entries, and then we got a bounce. So that it's the picture perfect setup of exactly what I was looking for after CPI news had come out. So as we see here on Q's, we got this massive upside at 5:30 a.m., which was CPI data. We kind of sat around here, market open. We then got our downside and we got a very nice bounce up. So the specific reason I picked Netflix this day, though, was because the previous day we got a ton of downside for almost no reason. Netflix had no reason to give us any downside, so I was looking for Netflix to get a nice bounce this day. It got a better bounce than I could have hoped for, that's for sure. I definitely wasn't looking all the way to see into 226, but I will take it obviously. So here is around where the market opened, this candle right here. So again, we kind of see that downside. We kind of see this chop on Netflix. So the main level I was looking towards was that 205 level for us to break and hold above. So as of right here in this area, this was a previous demand zone that we see right in here. So this is kind of where price was holding around and chopping in, and we held up support really nicely in this demand area. So I was looking for us to get a break out of it and a nice continuation up on Netflix. So as soon as price broke out of this area, I looked for a break of that 205 level, so around right here where we broke above and held. And that is exactly where I ended up taking my entry, was right at this candle around 655. So at this time, I was also on live in my Discord. And as I don't like to give any callouts because I want everyone to learn my strategy and be able to trade on their own without needing help from me, well, needing callouts from me, I told everyone, okay, the main stock I'm looking at is going to be Netflix for today. I'm going to look for a break out of this demand area and a break of our 205 level, hold of that 205 level, and a continuation up. And my first take profit was 210 on Netflix. So obviously we reached that quickly after. Took about 15-20 minutes or so to reach my profit target on Netflix. But yeah, this trade was generally pretty easy, but the most important part of this trade was determining my bias for that day and was understanding where the market wanted to go. If the rest of the market was not going to be heading to the upside, Netflix had no reason to just go up on its own. So it's very important that I waited till we saw a little bit of downside. We got that bounce in this demand area. We broke out of the demand area. We broke my 205 level. We had great volume. This was near market open, so obviously we had great volume and a nice continuation up. So obviously, I'm not trading shares, I'm trading options. I feel like I forgot to mention that, but I took these 210 options, 210 option calls on Netflix. You could have gotten a different strike price, kind of just depends on your risk, what Greeks work best for you, theta, gamma, delta, all that good stuff, and exactly what contracts were the, best positioning for your portfolio specifically. These contracts were a little bit more expensive. I entered them priced around $8.50, and I sold them. Most of them I sold again at this like 210 area, so those contracts went all the way up to around $12. So that is a $4 contract move, which is really large. That's $400 profit per contract that I was holding, which is why I was able to make so much on these Netflix contracts. If I did hold, obviously we would have gotten even more profit, but the reason I didn't hold is because Q's was slow, showing that we were getting some slowing down. We kind of got some downside here as well. So I didn't really want to hold those contracts. And if you ever trade Netflix options, you know how quickly those contracts move. So generally, pretty basic setup on this one. And I'll also go over hymns as well. I actually didn't end up taking hymns, but a lot of my students did because I gave them the whole script for it and I told them what to look for and I told them what level to enter at. So on hymns, we got, again, nice little downside and a bounce from this 53 area. So I said once we were holding above 55.05, you shall take entry. You shall take entry on some hymns calls. So we didn't exactly get a hold up here yet. We kind of got some downside still. And around this candle right here is when we got that official hold above that 55.05 area. Nice volume pushing us to the upside. And hymns contracts, if you've ever entered them, they move pretty quickly and they're also pretty cheap. So that's why a lot of my students will take them. They are good for smaller portfolios, which is awesome. So again, we were kind of stuck in this area right here. We did get a break below it of this demand zone, but we did not hold, so I wasn't worried about that. And then this is exactly what I was looking for, a break out of this demand zone around right here. If we move that down a little bit, around right here, a break and hold above it to then enter those contracts. Again, I'm not exactly sure what contracts everyone entered because everyone kind of took their own contracts, which is exactly what I want to see. I want to see everybody do this on their own. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to teach you how to do it on your own. I'm not here to give you handouts. Obviously, I was in live when I was talking about this. I was talking about hymns and Netflix. Those were my two biggest watchers for yesterday. So I did obviously kind of give out the entire script and say, this is where you're going to take entry and this is why. And everyone was able to, take a trade based off of my analysis and what I said. Because again, you don't want to be in a Discord that is just giving you alerts all day long. You want to be able to actually learn this on your own and by yourself and be able to be independent and be an independent trader. So that was kind of the hymn setup that I had entered, my students had entered. I had not entered this one. I was only in Netflix for yesterday. Just didn't really want to be in multiple trades at once. But yeah, that is the quick trade recap. And if you guys, want to hear more, make sure to subscribe. I'm sure most of you guys are here from my Instagram or from my TikTok. So thank you guys so much for listening to me. My Discord is linked in bio if any of you guys would want to join. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you all later.